if you're looking to add some UK ETFs to your investment portfolio, then this is the video for you. In today's video, I'll be sharing 7 of the very best UK ETFs. So I recently did a poll on my channel and asked what kind of videos you'd like to see next, and 64% of you said that you wanted to see either a UK ETF video or a Europe ETF video. So I'm splitting it into 2. This week I'm going to do the UK ETF video, and next week I'll do the European one. So if you fancy subscribing to this channel, then please do, so you can watch out for the Europe version next week. So I won't be sticking to a single ETF provider in this video. I'll be featuring ETFs from UBS, L&G, iShares, Vanguard and SPDR, and we will be covering all of the important factors, so everything from annualized returns through to the fees, which are so important, because with investing there's very little that you can control, but you can control the fees that you are paying, and fees really do compound over time. We'll also be covering standard deviation, because that's an excellent measure of risks. So if you want to get an idea of the risk levels and volatility of an ETF, then that's a really important thing to be looking at. We'll also be looking at the number of holdings within each and every ETF, and then we'll be looking at the top 3 holdings as well. So as I said, I'm featuring 7 different ETFs in this video. The first 2 are accumulating ETFs, which simply means that any dividends are reinvested back into the ETF. And then the next 5 ETFs that I'm featuring in this video are all dividend paying ETFs. So they're either paid out quarterly or semi-annually, and I'll cover all of the annual dividend yield and their performance as well. Now, you might already be invested in a FTSE All World like I am, and you might think I've got a lot of exposure to the UK in that. And actually, if you thought that, then you would be wrong. The UK stocks within a FTSE All World ETF currently make up less than 4% of that ETF. So if you're looking to specifically add some UK stocks in the form of an ETF into your portfolio, then keep watching. So starting off with the accumulating ETFs. Now, I've chosen to include this one first because it has the highest 5-year annualized returns. So it's the UBS MSCI United Kingdom ETF. The code for it is UC64, and as I said, it's an accumulating ETF. It has 3-year annualized returns of 11.64 and 5-year annualized returns of 9.96. The ongoing charge for this ETF is 0.20, and its 3-year standard deviation is 10.62. So where all else is the same, with standard deviation, what you're looking for is a lower standard deviation, because that indicates a lower level of risk and volatility. The number of equity holdings within this ETF are 73, and the top 3 holdings are AstraZeneca, HSBC and Shell. So the next accumulating ETF is the L&G UK Equity ETF. The code for this is LG UK. 3-year annualized returns are 11.83, 5-year annualized returns are 9.88, and the charge is just 0.05%, so really low ongoing charge there. 3-year standard deviation is 11.15. It has 82 equity holdings, of which the top 3 are AstraZeneca, HSBC and Shell. Okay, moving on now to a standard FTSE 100 ETF. So it's the iShares Core FTSE 100. The code for it is ISF, and it's a distributing ETF, so you will be paid out a dividend. The dividend is paid out quarterly for this one and is at 3.42%. The 3-year annualized returns are 11.66, and the 5-year annualized returns are 9.86. The ongoing charge for this ETF is 0.10%, and 3-year standard deviation is 10.58, and that is a measure of risk. So the number of equity holdings within this ETF are 95, and the top 3 are the same again, so it's AstraZeneca, HSBC and Shell. From the next few ETFs that I'm going to include, you will see some variation within those top 3 holdings. So the next ETF is the iShares UK Dividend ETF. The code for it is IUKD. This is a distributing ETF, obviously, because you're paid out those dividends. You are paid out a dividend which is pretty good, at 4.44%, and that is paid out quarterly. I actually recently did a video that featured some of the very best ETFs available on the market, and this was one of the dividend ETFs that I included in that video. 3-year annualized returns are 8.88. 5-year annualized returns are 8.68, and the charge for this ETF is 0.41%. Now, you will see that the ongoing charges do tend to be a bit higher for dividend paying ETFs. The 3-year standard deviation is 14.39. The number of equity holdings are 49, of which the top 3 are HSBC, British American Tobacco and Legal and General. Moving on now to an ETF that focuses on being socially responsible. This might be something you're interested in, or maybe you're not interested in it at all and you want to skip to the next ETF. But I wanted to include this in the video for people that are particularly interested in making socially responsible investments. So this is the UBS MSCI United Kingdom Socially Responsible ETF. The code for it is UKSR. The annual dividend yield is 2.94, and this is paid out semi-annually. So the 3-year annualized returns are 8.11, 5-year annualized returns are 6.45. The charge for this ETF is 0.23%, and the 3-year standard deviation is 13.28. So there are 144 equity holdings within this ETF, of which the top 3 are HSBC, Unilever and GSK. Right, to give you an option beyond the FTSE 100, we have got the FTSE 250, which is after those top 100 companies in the UK. You then get the FTSE 250, which is the 101st to 350 top stocks in the UK. So this is the Vanguard FTSE 250. The code for it is VMIG. It's a distributing ETF with an annual dividend yield of 3.26%, which is paid out quarterly. 3-year annualized returns are 4.39, 5-year annualized returns are 4.06, and the ongoing charge is 0.10%. The 3-year standard deviation is the highest of all of the ETFs that I'm featuring in this video, so it has a 3-year standard deviation of 15.37. So as I said, a higher standard deviation indicates a higher level of volatility and therefore risk. But this is nowhere near the level that you might see, for example, if you are investing in a technology-specific ETF. The number of equity holdings within this ETF are 174, of which the top 3 are Polar Capital Tech, Burberry and IG Group Holdings, so you're getting a good level of diversity if you invest in this ETF. And then finally, I have the SPDR S&P UK Dividend Aristocrats. So the code for this is UKDV. It's a distributing ETF. So the dividend yield is 3.24%, and this is paid out to you semi-annually. The 3-year annualized returns for this ETF are 7.11%, and the 5-year annualized returns are 4.02%. Ongoing charge for this ETF is 0.30%. So as I said, these dividend specific ETFs do tend to have slightly higher ongoing charges, and the 3-year standard deviation is 13.79. This ETF has the smallest number of equity holdings of all of the ETFs that I'm featuring in this video, with just 36. Top 3 holdings are NatWest, the Games Workshop and Legal and General. So I hope you found this video interesting. Let me know in the comments down below if you are invested in any of these UK ETFs already, or are you just relying, like I am, on having a FTSE All World ETF and just having around 3 to 4% of that being in UK stocks. I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts on this. And as I said, if you fancy watching the Europe version of this video, then please do subscribe because it will be coming out next Sunday. Thanks so much for watching and have a lovely day. Bye bye.